It appears that Colt supporters' wishes have been granted. With the Colt Cobra, Colt has triumphantly returned to the world of double-action revolvers. But what exactly contributed to the success of the Colt Cobra? In this video, we're going to look at 7 facts of the Colt Cobra that you probably didn't know. Number 7, 38 Special plus P capable. Colt used to dominate the revolver market, but that was a long time ago. Colt's official police and police positive are no longer in use. However, Colt has returned to the revolver market with a double-action revolver. The SF6 or DS2 was the initial version of the Colt Cobra, which was unveiled in 2016. The Cobra is chambered in 38 Special and is plus P capable. Colt hadn't made a double-action revolver in quite some time, therefore this was the first one that they had made since reintroducing them. Number 6, matte stainless steel. The new Colt Cobra is a 6-shot revolver that appears to be well positioned to shine in the concealed carry market. The Cobra is a modern revolver in every way, and despite its illustrious name, the new Cobra is barely related to the vintage model. The design is a stainless steel, somewhat larger J-frame size compact revolver. It has a matte black DLC finish over stainless steel that makes it as rust-resistant as any pistol on the market. The DLC finish is likewise appealing, bearing little resemblance to lesser matte finishes that appear painted on. It has a 2-inch barrel that is plus P rated for 38 Special cartridges and is chambered for that caliber. The ejector rod for the cylinder is housed and secured within a fully loaded barrel. This weapon was made to accommodate both novice shooters and skilled pros. The Cobra 6 is a somewhat larger J-frame with a cylinder that holds 6 rounds as opposed to the standard 5 rounds found on the modern Smith & Wesson weapons and other manufacturers. Number 5, LL2 trigger system. The primary advancement over the original Cobra is a strengthened leaf mainspring, which makes the hammer throw even and smooth. The firm claims that this design modification contributes to consistently smooth trigger pulls. In contrast to earlier Colt double-action revolvers, this new trigger has almost no stacking or loading at the conclusion of the double-action pull, and I think it's the best that Colt has ever made. Colt has put a lot of effort into refining the ergonomics of the trigger's placement and the design of the trigger guard, which undoubtedly contributes to the gun's natural feel in the hand. The trigger guard has been lengthened and has a small bump at the bottom. This makes it possible for shooters with larger hands or gloves to experience the same level of comfort when shooting. Colt didn't disclose information regarding trigger pull weight during the Media Day event or in the provided specifications, although both single-action and double-action usually seem to operate well. In contrast to Smith & Wesson revolvers, the Colt Cobra cylinder revolves in a clockwise direction. The way the cylinder is released differs from that of normal contemporary designs in that it's pulled back as opposed to being pushed forward, just like an earlier Colt revolver model. Pull back the serrated cylinder lock on the frame's left side to release the cylinder. Swing the cylinder out to the left side slowly to load. Colt advises against attempting to open or close a cylinder while the hammer is cocked because the cylinder locking bolt and hand are both engaged in an upright position and can be damaged. And don't do it if you've watched old gangster movies when a detective examines a cylinder and then snaps it shut with a flick of the wrist. Gentle care should be taken with the cylinder and the crane that connects it to the frame. Using direct finger pressure, press the cylinder into the frame. Number 4, low-profile hammer. Low-profile hammer to lessen the possibility of snagging when shooting plus P38 Special. The Cobra employs a transfer bar safety to allow the hammer to freely rest on a loaded cylinder. The Cobra's hammer doesn't have firing pins attached to it, in contrast to earlier revolver designs. Instead, it makes use of a transfer bar that's attached to the frame and only allows the hammer to hit the firing pin inside the internal housing when the trigger is fully depressed. Compared to the initial serrated trigger, this one is smooth-faced and has a similar curve. Number 3, single and double-action trigger. The trigger of the Cobra has 2 purposes. When the trigger is pulled in double action, the cylinder rotates. The pack is pulled, and the hammer is released at a weight of about 7 pounds 3 ounces. The second function is single action, which has a trigger pull closer to 3 pounds and requires manual cocking of the hammer. To make it more comfortable to use with gloves or for people with larger hands, the geometry of the trigger shoe has been reprofiled, and the interior of the trigger guard has been made wider. The Cobra's hammer doesn't have firing pins attached to it, in contrast to earlier revolver designs. Instead, it makes use of a transfer bar that's attached to the frame and only allows the hammer to hit the firing pin inside the internal housing when the trigger is fully depressed. Compared to the initial serrated trigger, this one is smooth-faced and has a smaller curve. The glassy, smooth double-action trigger pull is the consequence of an internal modification of the trigger. If you're new to revolver shooting, double-actioning the trigger cocks the hammer and releases it to fire. When you've mastered the length of the trigger press, you can stage it by pressing about 3/4 of the way to the rear, which takes up the majority of the pull weight. Then carefully press the remaining buttons to discharge the gun. Single action firing is accompanied by manually cocking the hammer, which is often done with your non-shooting hand's thumb. Once the hammer's cocked, the remainder of the now shortened trigger push does nothing but release the hammer to fire. Number 2. Colt branded rubber grip. The overall fit and finish of the King Cobra is great, which is evident when handling the weapon. With the exception of the bead-blasted top strap, which reduces glare while you're aligning the sights, the finish is best described as brushed or semi-glossed stainless steel. In contrast to the typical 5-shot 38, the Cobra has a special snub nose that offers 6 shots but is somewhat wider, with about 11 inches. The tough stainless steel frame of the new Colt Cobra has a matte finish, and the grip has a it's a weird word, isn't it, guys? We can all forgive me for that one. Hogue is well known in the business for producing high-quality revolver grips, and this one was no exception. The Cobra features a double V-leaf spring under the grip rather than the common coil springs found on competitors. The utilitarian aspect is the rubber over-molded Hogue grip, which also offers a stable grip. The Colt grip fits the majority of hands perfectly. The Hogue mono grip isolates the hand from the revolver's metal with a recoil-absorbing design. A 5-fingered hold prevents the pinky from floating in midair. At the range, the grip's characteristics are completely realized. The grip geometry complements the design of the Colt Cobra, and while the Colt Cobra looks similar to the original, the trigger isn't in the same place, and the action is tight and smooth with no slack motion. The revolver may not have the same feel as the original Colt, but it is an upgrade. It should be more durable and smoother in the long run. Numero uno. Rear sight groove and brilliant fiber optic front sight. An advantage of the Colt Cobra's broad is the rear sight groove and brilliant fiber optic front sight. It has a detachable front sight and includes an effective fiber optic insert, while the rear sight is a classic, simple square notch cut into the frame's top strap. The Cobra has low-profile, straightforward sights since it's designed for more self-defense than target shooting. A simple groove across the top of the frame serves as a back sight, but for better visibility, the front sight has a strengthened red fiber optic tube. A little hex screw that is situated directly above the muzzle can be used to change the front sight post. The 38 Special is a fantastic option for shooters who are intermediate to seasoned in home defense. The Colt Cobra is a reliable option for concealed carry too. The most potent cartridge that a casual shooter can effectively handle is the 38 Special. The Colt Cobra appears to be ready to enter the concealed carry market in terms of dimensions. I'm confident that it'll be a popular choice for people who want to carry revolvers because of its overall length of 7.2 inches, the height of 4.9 inches, the width of 1.4 inches, and the unloaded weight of 25 ounces. It has a 6-round capacity, and the 38 Special Plus B chambering should allow it to fit any powerful defensive loads. The backside is a traditional, straightforward square notch cut into the top strap of the frame, while the front side is a replaceable fiber optic insert with an effective insert. For more than a century, the 38 Special cartridge has been a favorite of target shooters and defensive carry. It's well known for its innate accuracy, and its modern 38 ammunition offers significantly better terminal performance than the old standard 158 grain round nose ever did. The ammunition used in the Cobra test was both regular velocity and plus P rated 38 Special. The latest Cobra isn't as polished as the original model from 60 years ago, but its true beauty lies in a design constructed for a lifetime of on-demand service. That's what defensive handguns are all about. Is one of your New Year's resolutions to become a better shooter? Well, then, too late, it's almost March. You kind of missed the window. Better luck next year. Bye. Nah, I'm just messing around. If it is, then subscribe to the channel. And also don't forget to smash the bell icon to receive regular notifications whenever we upload a new video. Since you've learned about the Colt Cobra 38 Special, why not watch this video about the world's best 6 Special 38 revolvers? Click on this video and stay tuned for more.